Okie dokie. Time for some wingless action now that we have the 360 and 410 sprint cars. Um, I have driven a couple laps here, but I have not tested out either car too much past that. I do know that this car you gotta brake really early at Williams Grove, so this is gonna be fun. Um, just make sure my setup for Grove. Yeah, I have not changed that in any way. Right, let's put up that little ad, and there we go. Okay. So yeah, like the 360, you can just kind of chuck it right into the corner, and it's gonna stick. Same with the 410 here. You just gotta lift a little bit on the entry. This car is not that way, so let's get out there. So the first thing I noticed too was you sit a little bit lower in this car, which is probably normal. And if you're curious about what the car looks like, I mean it's basically the current sprint car that we had before, just without the wing pieces. So nothing too special to show off. And right now, for whatever reason, the paint thing on the website's not working correctly, so you can even change the paint. So yeah, like I said, you gotta brake really early because this car has no downforce. Great dirt splatter right off the bat. And the funny thing was I was in a test session where everybody was running the top side, and I went down low. I was making it work pretty good. See if I can get a few laps. I actually go back and switch it to afternoon, because that's what I was testing in. And the funny thing was I actually liked this car better on the bottom. I was actually keeping up with guys who had the better pace in the session doing that. So, one thing I can say about this car is you want to learn how to do a little bit of gas and brake at the same time. It's really, really important. Because you really, remember, you don't have any downforce, so you really got to control the weight with both pedals. It's not the easiest thing to do. And the worst thing you can do too is, if you start to panic in the corners, get off the gas, because then that's only when things will get even worse. Yeah, it's not getting off the wall. There we go. Notice 3 and 4 can dominate a little bit better than 1 and 2, though. Keep it low. Drive right out of the corner by the wall. There we go. Not too bad. Gonna hit the wall? Nope. Okay. So, just in case you're joining, this one is the 360 version. I haven't put any laps in the 410 yet, or... Okay, that's a lie. I did 5 laps, but that was at a busy slick track on Eldora, and I don't even think I actually got a timed lap in. So, 360 I did get a couple laps in. I saw that the fast guys are running in the 19s at Williams Grove. I'm just out of the 19s, so I've got some time to gain. One thing I'll say too, it is very hard. It's very hard to drive and talk at the same time, especially in this car. Because this is what happens when you don't brake for the corner, by the way. Yeah, so you want to make sure you brake for the corner. Eldora, I don't think you have to. Volusia, you just have to lift. But Williams Grove, you need to brake for the corner. Because if you just throw it in there, the car's not going to like you for it. It's going to hate you and hate your family, and it probably wants to murder you. It is a monster. Let's try to do a few laps at the higher line. Ooh. See, that's the funny thing. The low line is supposed to be tougher, but yeah, I figured out the low line a little bit faster than I have the high line. And I'm also going to stay in a self-test session right now because the hosted sessions are packed as heck. And, you know, you can see I'm wrecking, so you know that everybody else is too, so. Because the absence of the wings is throwing people for a loop. Like right there. Get used to this, by the way, when you drive this car. But that's why we have a reset button. Alright. Let's take it easy, a little bit easier on the high side. Damn it. Also, disclaimer, these are my... I haven't even ran like 50 laps on this car yet, so... We are literally testing a brand new car, and this car does not drive like anything else. Yeah, we were in a test session, me and a friend of mine, Tom, and when it got to the end of the session, not only was there a bunch of rubber in the corners, but the straightaways were also rubbered up too. Even in a 360, you couldn't go full throttle by the end of the session. It was insane. It's very easy to slide it to the point where it loses all grip and just kind of stops dead in the corner. See, there's a very fine line. You want it to have a lot of slip angle, but at the same time, if you get too much, it's just going to spin itself out. That's the hard part. That's the difficult part of this car. Yeah, just go back on the bottom. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to me because I saw everybody in the test session staying up high. I went down low to do something different, and that's where I was gaining my time. Another point of advice too, because the only way this thing has traction is due to its weight and mechanical grip. If you're learning this car, don't take the fuel out. Leave all the fuel in because that's weight on the rear tires. It needs that fuel. Boy, this car is... I'm going to let you know right now, this car is an absolute handful. Even the 360. The 410's scarier. This is not... Ooh, this is not a pick-up and go car. You've really got to practice and finesse this car. Oh, bro. Basically, if you've learned anything from the wing sprints, forget it. Ah, almost. Whew. Let's put that on the external camera there for a few laps. Yeah, I legitimately got to practice how to get to the top side. That's why I eventually just gave up and just went back to the low side. This might be where I switch back. Not yet. That's one thing that's really hard to do in this car too. Is when you get off the corner, sometimes if you don't nail it right, the car will just straighten itself out. You'll lose so much time doing that. See, there I did it pretty good, but like the last lap, for example, this car will just straighten out and then it just goes straight. Like, it just does not turn anymore, even if you're putting steering input in. It's really, really difficult. I think I might do it on this lap. Yeah. Car straightened out too quickly and I almost hit the turn 4 wall. Love seeing it when it gets to the corner and you see all that dirt fly off when the track is tacky. So this car definitely flings off a lot of it. So yeah, very, very difficult car to drive. And this is only the 360. I'm not even in the 410 yet. Because you want, you know, batshit insane. Could probably go to the 410. Track's still tacky, so I'm going to leave that at 12-inch stagger. Let's go ahead and just remove one click of wheel spacing. So moving it inbound is going to tighten it up just a little bit. And I hope that's just enough. Whew. No, that's gonna be telephone pole. Holy crap. I believe I saved that. There we go. Is that gonna be my first 19? Nope, not yet. So close. Nope, that's a telephone pole. So yeah, like I said, I've figured out the low line at Williams Grove pretty much, and not the high line. But everybody else was running the high line, so of course I gotta be weird. But you know, I mean that's part of the fun. Let's go out there and try to get that 19. What do you say? Oh boy. So it's funny to me that in the wingless car, that telephone pole in turn 3 and 4
a lot of fluid. We have to fix it.
was the one that I hit all the time. But in the wingless car, I'm hitting this telephone pole at the exit of 2. I've done it so many times today. So, I don't know. I guess I just like wrapping a sprint car around a telephone pole. Probably why I'll never drive one in real life. That 19 is just gonna taunt me. I shouldn't have hammered down out of the corner. You gotta get used to that when you're driving this car. You just can't. You just can't flat-foot it. This car hates being flat-footed. If this thing does not have, you know, if it's not completely happy and you flat-foot it, it's gonna make you pay. It's like right now it's happy. too is when you wreck hard in a wingless, so it's very realistic. Yeah, I just got a little too low. Ugh. I want to get that 19. I want to get it live. Should move on to the 410, but I'll do that in a minute. So that right there was what I was talking about. That fine line between a good slip angle and just spinning out completely. And this car does that. Yeah, I got the car too sideways there. The car just lost grip. Because this car also has no side bite. Dang it! Yeah, like I said, I'm still learning. You know, like, I'm gonna get these corner exits down eventually, and it will be awesome. Alright, I'm gonna give it probably 1 or 2 more attempts, and then I'll switch over to the 410. Because right now, all I'm doing is just doing the same repetitive thing over and over again, and that's not good for the video. Okay, one more attempt. These things can do wheelies like the regular sprint cars can too, so that's a good thing. Nope, two inside. Alright, fine. If I get the 19, I'm gonna post it. I don't care. Should I chest the 410? Let's go to Eldora. Okay, screen's gonna go black for a second. Alright. So how is everybody on this lovely spring afternoon? I know in my area it's sunshine and about 70 degrees. It's pretty much perfect. I think once I get out of here, I'm gonna. Well, I think actually Bristol got delayed today, so I might check that out for a minute and then. Go check that out. So. Alright, so we got a tacky track. I'll do that. Okay, he said I did do a few laps. Oh, that was gone. Yeah, Did do a few laps here modifying this, but it was a really busy session. I don't even think I got a time lap in. It was just, the session had shared pit stalls, so we had like 40 wingless cars out on the track at any time. So it was just you couldn't do anything. I'm gonna just drop the front toe end just a tad because to me that's a lot of front toe end. So that's the sound of we're gonna die. Well, are you ready for some sprint car flips? Because I'm guaranteeing that I'm probably going to. Alright, so now that I got the track all to myself, maybe I can finally figure out this car. I'll take the first few laps here pretty easy. Whoa! So yeah, this thing's got so much power it'll pop wheelies while you're up to speed, so keep that in mind. Which is the epitome of the statement, make sure you roll on the throttle and not jab it. Let's just follow the recommended line for a few laps. I don't know, maybe then again my natural reaction is just to go to the low line every time. So. Don't really have an idea what a good lap time is here. I'd assume probably a near a 16 flat. Wow. So, yeah, a little bit of an animal, isn't it? Whew. I only drove 7 laps. Man, that felt like I just drove about a half hour. I mean, these are only introductory laps, but let's see what the car's gonna do. And I would have painted the car, but like I said, in the web UI, if you try to repaint it and save it, it doesn't. I don't know why. So, looks like everybody right now is just stuck with stock paints. Of course, unless you do a trading paints paint. I think what I'm going to end up doing... TV3... Okay, TV3's not a stationary camera, but we can make it. I think what I'm going to end up doing... Let's watch my fastest lap. I want to see what I did on my fastest lap, because I did drive a little bit differently. It's just actually just more throttle control. As you can see, I never even got full throttle. Yeah. I don't think this car likes to go full throttle. Which makes sense. It's light as hell car with no downforce. Just going to... Let's see, I did that earlier. Let's just increase that just a little bit. That's just gonna, again, more outbound makes it tighter, according to the tooltip. So that's all I'm gonna do. One thing I'll notice too, compared to the wing cars, is you can really tell a difference when the tires are cold. And it makes sense, because I know in real life they can get down to like 4 or 5, you know, the guys that are quick as heck, they'll even run the tires down, 4 or 5 PSI. So their first few laps, you really gotta give the tires a minute to heat up. Straighten out too quickly. Oof. Yeah, it just rear end lifted a little bit and the car just went straight, and that was it. Right here. Right there is when the rear end lifted up a little bit, and as soon as it landed, the car just went a lot more straighter than it usually does. So yeah, the 410 is easily the most. This probably became the most difficult car to drive, current dirt car to drive on iRacing. If you've driven the pavement 410, this is a lot like that, where you almost never go full throttle. You need to give it a lap or two to get the tires up to temps and get a little pressure in the tires. Which is good, because I heard with the stuff they learned from the dirt sprint car, they want to make updates to the old pavement sprint car, and it might not just be crap. Might not just be updates to just make it drive a little easier. It might be, if this is any evident, it might be just a little bit more natural. Where I don't know. Currently, to me, and I'm no expert in the pavement sprint car, so I mean, this is just opinion, but there's just times where that car will just snap away from you, and there's like no saving it, no controlling it. It did not like one thing that you did, and it just felt really weird. Now, granted, it could be the cold tires, and I can understand that. But when this car makes a mistake, you can easily identify it. Like, the front end lifted up, and I slammed the wall, like, stuff like that. Like, there's reasons for it. Or you use too much gas coming out of the corner, and the rear tires are just sliding, so... So the car is just upset the entire way down the straightaway. Woo! This thing's actually more fun to sling on the bottom. No, I'm hitting the wall. Okay. I'll figure out that low line eventually. I don't know what's going to be faster here, low line or high line. Knowing Eldor, it's probably rim riding. Especially in a car like this. still good. It's still good. Oh boy. I'm gonna say this right now. Usually when Eldora is tacky, never really enjoyed it because a lot of the cars are just flat-footing it around. A slick Eldora is fun, but on a tacky Eldora, I'd say this is probably the most fun I've ever had at this track, on a tacky track. This is insane. That's why I'm not talking a lot. This car demands all your focus. Oh boy. Ah, man. That was going to be a good lap. Whew. So yeah, so far what I've done is I've basically moved the right rear to left rear wheel space and over to the left to tighten it up a little bit. I feel like I've got a little bit better control on the low side when I did that. I remember the car's only 2 or 3 hours old, so I'm gonna have to do more testing just to see if it's, you know, better, you know, if it gives me better pace, or if it is faster. Who knows? I think one thing I'm gonna do too before I end the stream is I heard that they adjusted the 360 sound bites, so I don't know if both. I think the wingless 360 and the regular 360 the wings, excuse me, blah, have the same engine, so same sound bites on iRacing. So I think we've actually already heard them, but oh, there's a 16195. So I'm gonna guess people who know what they're doing are gonna be like 57s then. No! Oh, that almost stuck! Well, I still got that 16 flat, climbing the wall. Wow. Just listen to that purr. I love sprint cars. Well, good afternoon, fellas. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a great day. And if you're at work and you look forward to driving some sprint cars when you get home, you're gonna have an animal to drive, and it's going to be fun. You know, honestly, I think I'm gonna leave the gear right where it is. I don't think I'm gonna touch it. Okay, so this is like the other sprint car too, where the shocks can adjust the cross weight too. I'm gonna lower this down. See, the cross weight right here, I've kind of gotten used to it, so I'm gonna try to get it close to that. I'm gonna take that 2 clicks down. And Was ride height before? Okay. No, it had to be... Okay, that's what it was exactly before. Let's see what happens if I go one more click down on that side. And then we can go one up on there. Two there. There we go. And I just want to check something real quick. 10.32, 12.66. And now I have it at 12.52, 12.84. Maybe I do want to... I think I want to keep the ride heights about the same. That should be fine. Let's go out and test that out. Basically, what that left rear rebound, the reason I turned it down was when it's stiff like that, it'll, once the weight compresses, the stiff shock will just basically throw it back up in the air, and I'm just trying to soften it up a little bit to see if I can keep it. You know, maybe not let it transfer or rebound the weight so quickly, and see if that helps me out a little bit. Because basically what that's going to do is it's going to tighten the car up in mid-corner. So that's about the transition phase of when you're getting back onto the gas. Like, you're putting more throttle input in and less steering input. It's about right there-ish. Nope, I'm spinning out. And the reason I adjusted the ride heights was I wanted to keep about the same cross weight just to see what the rebound shock adjustment is going to do. I want to see solely what that's going to do to the car. Might be... See, the thing is, though, when you're making adjustments like that, it can kind of change your line a little bit. So if you got used to the way that the car was before, it might be better or worse, depending on your driving style. See, right now, it ain't doing very much for me, but I'm going to try to work with it a little bit and see if I can get it to work. I don't think... Yeah. I'm not sure I like that too much. Alright, that's okay. We all make mistakes. So the only thing I did was... Actually, I don't even think I did that. Where's that? No, I reduced that a little bit. I meant to do that. No! There we go. So 2 clicks down. Is that raising the right height? No, it is lowering it. Okay. So that's where it was before. Let's see how one click feels. 2 clicks just didn't feel right. Might not even be the adjustment I'm looking for either. The one thing I kind of noticed about that adjustment is it seems to really does seem to make the car slide a little bit more on entry. So that means I might just leave it at 9. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I like it or not. Alright. But you know what? That's alright. You made a mistake, we learned from it. That's all that matters. As Bob Ross said, we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. Okay, so the shocks go from 3 to 5. Before I change anything, let's update that set. Yeah, so those are much bigger adjustments. Here's something else I'm wondering. I wonder if just squatting the rear end will help a little bit. I'll put those. It's not equal. Alright, what was it before? Oh, shoot, did I screw it up? That's I stayed beforehand. There we go. Okay, so torsion bar was at 1.05? Okay. Just making sure. Let's see. So it's going to adjust the weight by 0.5. That's going to adjust the weight by 0.8. So I want... There we go. Basically what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to squat the rear end a little bit and see what it does, just to test it out. You know, while I'm still on a slick track, might as well take advantage of the situation. Oof. You know, all things considered, it's a little different, but it still feels pretty good. See if I can run a few laps here and maybe get a good lap time. Ah, darn. I drove a solid couple laps there without wrecking or spinning out. The car definitely feels better once I lowered the rear end. Feels a little bit more manageable. Just feels like you're getting that ascent closer to the ground, so it doesn't want to. It's not. You're getting less tank slappers and stuff. It just kind of feels a little more controllable in a chaotic environment. I'm getting close. I'll just use that lap to get tear off. Whew. This car is, boy, that's taxing. That car is difficult to drive. I'm gonna say right now, this 410 is easily a driver's car. It's all about finesse. It's all about, oh man, how many laps did I just drive there? 12. That's not too bad. But lowering that ride height, once the tires got warmed up and I was making less mistakes. See, 0, 0, 0, you know, so at least the consistency's there, so I'm definitely going to save that. So for the stream, I'll just leave my settings up there, put them on here. If you want to go ahead and try it. Basically, what would it be, the 6 adjustments I made was from the default sets. I went 1 click down on the toe. I went 1 click down on both ride heights. And then 2 clicks down on the torsion bar on the right side. So that brought the cross weight back to what it was for the baseline. And then went outbound here and went, I think outbound here, didn't I? So I actually moved this one out to the right, this one to the left. And did I? Yep. So there you go. So 1 click right for the wheel spacing, 1 click right for the wheel spacing on the left side, 2 clicks down on the torsion bar stop on the right rear, 1 click down on the torsion bar diameters, left rear and right rear, 1 click down on the front toe in. So basically, I'm kind of making like a little bit of a beginner set. This will help. You lower the back end. It's kind gonna tighten up the car a little bit because the center of gravity on the back end is lower, so the weight's tied down a little bit more. And then these just four adjustments to the torsion bar stop diameters. I basically know how the car feels with the default cross weight, and just lowering it and getting it back to whatever the original cross weight was basically all I wanted to do, because I wanted to see what lowering the back end basically did for the car. And then this front toe in from -5 to -4, or it was negative, yeah, it was -5 to start out to -3. That's your initial turn in. As soon as you start turning into the corner, the front toe in, the more negative it is, the more it's going to snap into the corner. So I just tighten that up a little bit. And then wheel spacings are pretty self-explanatory from the tooltip. I moved the left rear out. I actually meant to move the right rear inbound, but I moved it outbound. So I got it tightened there and looser there. So but honestly, it feels great. It feels great off the corner. It's a little snappy going into the corner, and it actually might be because of this wheel spacing. So if it still feels a little loose going into the corner, maybe try it at 20 inches instead of 20 and a quarter. Did nothing to the rear ratio. Like I said, run it with full fuel until you get used to it. Because this weight from the fuel, you can see when you take out all the fuel, you lose almost 100 pounds per tire, on either side. So that weight is where you're getting the grip. So when you're not used to the car, keep the fuel in until you get used to the car. So that's my recommendations. All right then. I think I'm gonna end the stream. Like I said, the wingless cars are here. iRacing did say that they want to add more USAC sanctioned stuff in the future, so that might mean Silver Crown and hopefully USAC midget. So yeah, so there you go. We got 2 more cars today. They are currently building, what was it, Knoxville, Kokomo, and oh shoot, sorry, I forgot the other one. What was it, Belvedere, right? Wasn't that it? Or no? Sorry. Well, we got 3 dirt tracks. If you look at the iRacing articles, it'll say what 3 tracks that they have signed. So, all right, I'm gonna allow these laps to play out, and then I'll end the stream afterwards. I thank you for watching, and have a good day.